What's up? Welcome back to the Ride and Dad channel, or welcome. Glad to have you either way. Let's roll the intro, and then we're going to be talking about how and why to install this external air breather.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a feeling you
Alrighty. First, I want to apologize. My allergies are absolutely terrible. I'm sure you can hear it a little bit in my voice. I'm going to do my best to edit out any kind of sniffling and sneezing. So if there's like little blip seconds of like complete silence or whatever, just understand that is what it is. Bear with me. I only have limited time to make these videos, and unfortunately, my allergies suck. So the Trask Assault is the air cleaner that you watched me install last week. If you didn't watch that, what are you doing with your life? Go ahead and click whatever side, click the video, make sure you watch it first, and then come back. All right, so the external air breather from Trask comes with these two hoses, and then two of the spacers with the little outlets for the hoses. And that's all it comes with. Funny story, I actually thought Trask forgot to send me something that I needed, because the way this, well, first, I'm kind of jumping ahead here. For those of you who are not familiar with what breather bolts are, how it works on the Harley or whatever, these bolts are going to be pretty much there on any configuration stock V-twin Harley that I can think of. They're going to look different. Sometimes they'll have little nibs, like nipples on the end, like the stock high airflow or high flow air cleaner from Harley. But the Trask one is internal. Anyway, long story short, they're almost always internally vented. So these are the breather bolts. They allow for crankcase pressures, hot oily mist kind of, to vent. They're breather bolts, they breathe, and they're basically like banjo bolts. So the oily mist comes through the bolt, and on this particular air cleaner, it goes through a hole in the bolt and kind of comes through here. Actually, when we get closer, you're going to see that even though this air filter only has like maybe 50 miles, I think just shy of 50 miles on it, there's actually quite a bit more than you would probably think of mist. Now, every bike is different. Some bikes have a lot of mist, some bikes do not. My understanding is the really old Harleys have a lot of mist. Ever since I got my chain kit, I ride a little bit higher RPMs just to, I'm a real big fan of shifting a lot, downshifting and everything like that. So I'm not one to just cruise on the Harley. I ride it, I ride it like I'm not worried about paying for warranty work, which I'm not, because I trust this bike. Anyway, so because of that, I think there's a little bit more venting than you might have, probably than the average Harley rider might have. However, I like to think that I have a pretty cool fan base that rides their bikes pretty hard. So you might have this issue too. Anyway, the stock airflow cleaner, I was having a lot come out, and it wound up, the air filter on the bottom wound up getting soaked so much, after time, that it wound up leaking a little bit on the bottom, and then I had a little bit of oil. Not anything like while I was riding, it was mostly just from when it was sitting and everything. So that, for the cleanliness and the appearance, is one reason you might want to do it. The bigger reason perhaps you might want to do an external breather is going to be because that hot oily mist has been proven to not be good for your intake, for your engine. There's tons of videos out there on it. Basically, long story short, my understanding is the reason that Harley does it, and other companies might, but who cares about other companies? We care about Harley. The reason that they do it is to meet EPA standards. It's my understanding is to kind of filter that, kind of waste oil back into the engine, and but it's not good. It'll rob you of a little bit of performance, and long term, it's not good for buildup on your pistons and your cylinders and everything. So this is the kit. Actually, what I did purchase, where is it? What I did went ahead and purchase that the kit does not come with is either a filter or a crankcase of some sort. I might not be using this long term. This is just from my genius going on up here. This is what I think might help me out right now. So basically, we're gonna mount those spacers here. Tubes are gonna come out. Oh, actually, you are gonna need you're probably gonna need, if you're gonna do it like me, some sort of T connector, like a hose connector, to make it into one. So I did get this. All this I bought at the auto parts store. However, Amazon will definitely have it. So here is where you might want to get something different. So you can either order a specific style catch can from, I know like DK Customs is probably the most popular and most reputable catch can specifically associated for this, but basically your hot oil mist is going to vent out through these tubes into whatever you put it on. Now, there is videos saying that breather filters work just as well as catch cans, you just have to clean them every once in a while. I don't know, you know, maybe I'm just assuming the worst or whatever, but you'll see when you get closer. This is a decent amount of mist from just under 50 miles, like I said. So I don't really have a lot of faith that a oil, like a small little pod filter like this, a breather filter, is going to soak up all the oil and not let any drip. But there's a lot of people that say it does. So who knows? What I actually did was I bought a inline fuel filter from Edelbrock, again, local hardware store, and I don't really care about you know, the actual fuel filter portion of it, but really what this is going to allow me to do is to mount this top portion fixed to the bike with some sort of mount. I'm not even sure where, you know, it's just going to really depend on what the trial and error, essentially. You can mount this wherever, as long as it's not upside down, obviously. So I'm going to mount this fixed to the bike, and then in theory, when I need to change this filter, all I have to, or change or clean or whatever, all I have to do, or empty it out, is really what I meant to say, is unscrew this. So this part will stay on the bike. Alternatively, what I have thought about doing is treating this fuel filter like a catch can. There's a little nub on the end, looks exactly like this, which is where the air is going to pass through to this, ultimately to this filter. So I'm hoping with this setup, the oil is going to be trapped a little bit in that initial fuel filter portion of it, and then the rest residual is going to get into this filter. This, I think, total setup ran me about 20-ish, maybe 25 total. You can get small breather filters actually all in black for like $7 on Amazon. I'm actually probably going to order that, but I want to see kind of trial and error what I want to do first, because I might be getting a different catch can. This was just kind of a, what does the store have quickly for me to rig this up and test out, you know, methods of mounting and where I want it. So yeah, that's how it's going to work right now. But what I've thought about doing is taking this filter off, putting a kind of like a nub, just a vacuum line sealer. It's just basically just a nub, rubber nub that I've got a bunch of them, different sizes. On the bottom, sealing this bottom off completely, taking this, brass, whatever, the metal fuel filter portion out, putting just little bits of a typical like foam air filter in there. Again, you can buy them super cheap on Amazon for like $6 or $7, like a big piece. It'll last you a long time. And then drilling very tiny holes on top there just to allow it to breathe, so it doesn't, you know, you can't restrict it because the air needs to go somewhere. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to do this. We're going to figure out when we get to the end of the video. I do for sure know how I'm going to mount the hoses that it comes with, and right to the bottom. So let's go ahead and pull you guys closer. I've already talked enough. I feel like I wasted a lot of this video, so I apologize, but bear with me. There's a lot of explanation for, you know, what's going on with this and why you'd want to do it. Anyway, let's move closer. We're gonna go basically take this almost completely off. I'm definitely gonna clean up the inside. There's oil everywhere, which sucks. I mean, fine mist, but still, it's gross. It doesn't look very good at all with this nice clean window that Trask has made. So let's move you guys closer, explain what we're doing. I'm not gonna go over torque specs again because I did cover torque specs in the first video, which you should have watched already. So this is mostly just for the external breather kit from Trask. And they do make kits for stock breathers and different breathers or whatever. This is just a specific Trask, but once these points are done, the actual spacers with the hoses, the rest will pretty much be the exact same thing. And the reasons are always gonna be the same. All right, let's move closer. All right, so the first step is going to remove these three tabs that hold the filter and the cover on, and then we're going to actually remove the backing plate, or at least loosen it enough and reapply the Loctite and so on, and also that magnetic velocity stack. So let's do it. make sure this is cleaned out really good, because hopefully this is never gonna get dirty with oil mist again. All right, now we're gonna loosen these bolts. We don't have to take them off all the way. We're going to remove the breather bolts, remove the spacers that come stock with the Trask Assault cleaner, and put the new ones in. It's important for the new ones that this back that seals off most of this surface area is facing backwards, so you get the most surface area coming from, or allowing the oil and mist and air and everything to flow into there as much as possible. And you can see just how much of that oil mist. Like I said, this is under 50 miles. This, honestly, I didn't expect it to be that much. So yeah, go ahead and clean all this up as well. All right, now you gotta start thinking what orientation you want these little nubs to hang down. Obviously down. I don't think you're ever gonna wanna do up. I can't imagine any situation you'd wanna do that. For me, I'm gonna put them pretty much straight down. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tighten everything up. I'm also going to completely take these out and reapply the red Loctite and torque them down. All right, so in the past, I don't know, I've been dealing with this for about 20-25 minutes, going back and forth. I tried a bunch of different options, like I told you before, about where I was gonna mount the catch can, well, actually fuel filter and breather filter. So what I wound up doing was putting it here. I wound up scrapping the entire plan I explained to you guys. This is just the one piece. I'm gonna wind up cutting it to length when we go ahead and route those two cables with the connector there, like the T connector, and put this right there. And that's gonna sit about right there. This mount, I just took one of the screws out. It's just I think it's actually a brake line mount I got, again, at the auto parts store. If I like it, I'll eventually just go and get that powder coated. It's gonna cost, like, who knows. Honestly, I might even just plastic dip it because it's just such a small piece of metal. But I drilled holes in the top of the fuel filter, took the insert out, and for right now, I just put some shop towel in there. I actually am going, as soon as I finish doing this video, I don't have any long rides coming up, so I'm not worried about it, but I actually just, I'm going to order that foam filter, and then I'll just put a little chunk of foam filter in there. So hopefully, I'm hoping and assuming this will work. If not, I think I'm actually in the same Amazon order going to order one of those pod filters, the little breather filter, and just have it in case I want to switch to that. Like I said, it's like $7. I'm not really worried about it. But the way this is done right now, this is torqued back down to spec, so I'm not worried about that. This is a stainless steel bracket, so I'm not worried about that either. This bottom, the top will always stay there. And like I said, I did drill the holes. That way it does have venting air out. If you're worried about, you know, oh, the exhaust is right there, Chris, this is going to be really hot. Well, I'm not going to be doing this while I'm riding. This is a pre-ride checklist, you know, however many thousands of miles it's going to take for this to fill up, kind of. But the O-ring should keep it good. I just put a little nub on the bottom of that, and we're going to try it out. There's so many different things. I mean, this is the line that came with the Assault, or not the, well, the Assault kit, the Trask breather kit, external breather kit, but you can go buy fuel line. You can go buy this rubber hose at, I know, like Ace Hardware sells it. It's like $1 something a foot for the small rubber hose line or whatever. They have different colors. I know they have actually a really bright, like orangey red. So if you're doing that kind of build, I think that would look pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of different options. So I'm just gonna try this out. I spent, you know, if it doesn't work, whatever, I spent, you know, 10, 15 bucks on it. Trial and error, see what you like, folks. So anyway, now we're gonna put the, one of these pieces up here, the other, I'm gonna try to use all in one hose and save one hose because I don't think I'm gonna need more than this one hose. So let's go ahead and mount it up there. We'll put the T connector on there. I do not think I'm going to use any clamps or anything like that, but we'll see. So let's finish this install up. All right, there you have it. That is my final setup, at least for today. I'm gonna see how it plays out, see if I like it. Maybe I'm gonna keep an eye on it, see if I have to put any of the clamps on there. I will, but this all will be hidden. You'll see in a second when I put everything back on after I clean everything up. And then I just kind of routed this in between the, why can't I think of the name right now? The push rods. There you go. Routed that in between the push rods. Like I said, again, you could just put a one of the pod filters, the breather filters right here. That would work too. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Let me clean it up, put it back on, and we'll see how well hidden the final product is. All right. Alrighty, all done. It's pretty clean. I mean, honestly, unless you're looking for it, especially once this will be powder coated black, I think it'll fix it completely. Eventually, like I said, I might get an actual, it's actually made for it, a catch can from DK Customs. However, for trying it out, I think this is going to be great. It's going to keep the oily crap mist out of my intake. It's going to keep the window plate very nice and clean. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll give you a review in the future. And if I actually do wind up long-term really liking this and the system works very well, what I'll probably wind up doing is moving this one down so it's even more hidden and it's easier to get to with my, my hand underneath to actually unscrew it. But, we'll see. Again, you could do a pod filter right here, and then most of that would be hidden. There's a lot of different, options for this kit. I will keep you posted, let you know if it's something I would definitely buy again. But so far, very happy with it right now. Hopefully, it does exactly what I want it to do, and it alleviates all of the issues of, this getting all dirty and crappy and my engine sucking it in. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you never saw the initial install, go watch the initial install. The next video I have you can look forward to is dyno numbers. I went and got this professionally tuned. He was there for a whole day with my Power Vision from DynoJet, and he did a tune. Bike runs great. I got some numbers for a stage 1 kit. I am pretty impressed with it. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I think they're pretty good numbers for what it is, especially just being a stage 1. But keep posted. Make sure you are subscribed, obviously. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you never miss one of my videos. I'm doing at least one video per week. I might go back to 2, but I'm digging this one video. It gives me a chance to really do in-depth, at least in my opinion, well done, high quality videos. But you be the judge of that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel out. Share with a friend or a family. Make grandma sit down and watch this video. I don't cuss. It's a family-friendly channel on here. Make sure you watch one of the videos that are on screen. And until the next time, guys, ride safe. Have fun. Dad out.